Good morning, class 10. Today we will do a poem, Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. Although the poem appears to be a very short poem, but it has a deep meaning. Let us see what the poem tries to tell us. First, I am reading the poem. Dust of snow. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Now, first I must tell you that this poem was set on a wintry day. This poem, Dust of Snow, was written on a wintry day. The poet was passing by the hemlock tree. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree and it has white flowers. It is a symbol of sadness. It is a symbol of negativity. It is a poisonous tree. The poet was passing by the hemlock tree and a crow was sitting on that tree. Here you must also remember that not only the hemlock tree is a symbol of negativity, is a symbol of sadness and gloom, but the crow is also symbolizing sadness. Crow is also a symbol of gloom, sadness and negativity. So there were two negative things before the poet. One was the hemlock tree and second was the crow that was sitting on that tree. So when the poet was passing by this hemlock tree, since it was a wintry day, snow was falling. And when the poet was just under this tree, the crow who was sitting on the tree, it shook the tree in such a way that snowflakes started falling from the tree on the poet. Snowflakes started falling on the poet. The whole tree was covered with snow, and when the crow shook the tree, the snow fell on the poet. This falling of snow made all the difference in the poet's mood. The poet was very sad at this time. He was not in a happy mood. His day was not a happy day. It was filled with negative thoughts. It was filled with negativity. But when the snow fell on the poet's body, it changed the poet's mood completely. From a gloomy mood, from a sad mood, immediately he became happy. He became thrilled. He became joyous. So through this poem, the poet is trying to tell us that sometimes negative things or sometimes things which we consider are bad, they bring negativity, they bring sadness. Sometimes even those things can prove to be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes they can bring happiness in our life. Like the hemlock tree and the crow brought happiness in the poet's mood. His day which started as a gloomy day, his day which was not a happy day for him, turned into a happy day later on when the snow fell from the hemlock tree on the poet. The poet says that had he not passed from that way, had he not passed by the hemlock tree, he would have regretted later, because although the hemlock tree, which is a symbol of sadness and negativity, since it is a poisonous tree, and the crow, which is considered to be a symbol of something bad, A crow is not considered something good. It brings bad omens. It is considered that it is a symbol of gloom. It is a symbol of sadness and negative things. So, although the hemlock tree and the crow are symbols of sadness, are symbols of negativity, but due to them, the poet's mood changed and finally his day ended in a happy mood. Now let us start the poem and see what the poet says in these two stanzas. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. In the first stanza, the poet says that the crow, which is a symbol of ill omen, bad omen, something bad, because in earlier days especially the people used to believe that if you see a completely black crow, that means something bad is going to happen, something evil is going to happen. So here in the first stanza the poet says that the way the crow shook down on him the dust of snow. As I have told you when I was telling you the gist of the poem, the summary of the poem, I told you that it was a wintry day and due to winter season, snow was falling. The hemlock tree was covered with snow and a crow was sitting on the tree and it shook the tree in such a way that snow which was the snow which had covered the whole hemlock tree, it fell on the poet. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood. As I told you that when this snow fell on the poet, it changed his mood completely. Till now, he was not in a happy mood. Till now, his day was not a happy day. He was gloomy, he was sad, he was disappointed. Nothing good had happened to him till this point of time on that day. But when the snow fell on the poet's body, on the poet's head, on the poet's body, it completely changed the poet's mood and it turned his sad mood into a happy one. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. The word rued means regretted. Regretted. So the poet is saying that it changed his mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Saved some part of a day means half of the day was over. Some part of the day has been spent by the poet in sadness. But the remaining part of the the remaining part of the day was saved. How? Because it proved to be a happy day for him. The remaining part of the day turned out to be a happy day for him, and he says that had he not passed by the hemlock tree, he would have regretted later because he would not have experienced that happy feeling. He would not have experienced that happiness and he would have missed that. He would have missed being happy, so he would have regretted and saved some part of a day I had rued. Some part of the day was saved from regret. The poet says some part of the day which became a happy part of the day, he was saved from regretting. He would have regretted had he spent the whole day from morning till night. Had he spent the whole day in sadness, he would have regretted later. But He was saved from regret. He was saved from regretting because he passed by the hemlock tree, which changed his mood completely. So, the deep meaning of this poem is that sometimes those things which we think are bad for us, those things which we think are symbols of negativity, sadness, and gloom, sometimes they become a blessing in disguise and they bring happiness and joy in our lives. Now I am again reading the meaning of these two stanzas for you. The poet was in a bad mood and was walking by a tree. The crow who was sitting on that tree threw some snow dust. Some snow dust means very fine snow was thrown by the crow on the poet. The hemlock tree and the crow signify sadness. The poet was in a sad mood, but the falling of the snow changed his mood completely. Although the above two things, which two things? The hemlock tree and the crow. Although the above two things bring sadness, but the poet says that such things can also bring joy. Things should not be taken for granted. Things should not be taken for granted means we should not always be sure of something. That hemlock tree, for example, or crow, for example, are symbols of sadness. They are symbols of negativity. They are symbols of gloom. So we should not always consider them in that manner. We should not always consider that crow brings something, crow signifies something bad. Crow is a symbol of something bad that is going to happen in our life. So when you see a crow, you cannot imagine that crow can bring joy. You can't imagine that crow can be a symbol of happiness also. We should not take anything for granted, because this is what the poet tries to tell us. The deep meaning of this poem is that things which we consider symbolizes sadness, things which we consider symbolizes negative thoughts or negativity, they bring gloom in our life, they bring sadness in our life. Even those things can change our lives sometimes. Even those things can change our mood sometimes. Even those things can make our lives happy sometimes. So we should not take anything for granted. This is the deep meaning of the poem. Now, before I close, let me read the poem once again for you. Pay attention. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had ruined. Now, this was the explanation. Let us see the rhyme scheme of the poem. The rhyme scheme of the poem is AB, AB, CD, CD. Why? See the first stanza. The way a crow. We will see only the last words of the stanza to decide the rhyme scheme. Always remember, whenever you are deciding the rhyme scheme, you will only consider the last words of each line. The last words of each line in each stanza. Crow, snow, me, tree. Here, crow is rhyming with snow, me is rhyming with tree. So we will give alphabet A to crow, We will also give alphabet A to snow because crow and snow are rhyming with each other. Similarly, we will give alphabet B to me, and we will also give alphabet B to tree because me and tree are rhyming with each other. So the rhyme scheme till now in this stanza is AB, AB. Now let us see the second stanza. Heart is rhyming with part and mood is rhyming with rude. Now we will give alphabet C to heart, and we will also give alphabet C to part. Then we will give alphabet D to mood and alphabet D to rude because they are rhyming with each other. So the rhyme scheme of this stanza is CD, CD. So if I ask you what is the rhyme scheme of the poem Dust of Snow, you will write the rhyme scheme of Dust of Snow is AB, AB, CD, CD. This is the way rhyme scheme is decided. Now let us see the literary devices, because often you are asked in the exams what is the rhyme scheme and what literary device is used. Now the first literary device used in this poem is alliteration. Alliteration means occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning or of adjacent or closely connected words. For example, see the second stanza. Has given my heart. H and H in has and heart. So if the same letter is repeated at the beginning or of adjacent or closely connected words, if you see letters are repeated like this, then the literary device used will be called as alliteration. Then again we can see alliteration in the third line of the second stanza. And saved some part. Saved, S, some, S. Again the S letter is repeated. So when letters are repeated like this, the literary device is alliteration. Next literary device is assonance. ASSONANCE, assonance. Here there is a prominence of vowel sound throughout the line. In assonance, there is a prominence of vowel sound throughout the line. For example, shook down on me. Now see, vowel O is repeated so many times, it is used so many times. So if you will see that a particular vowel is prominently used in a line, then the literary device will be called as assonance. Keep on writing all this because it will be asked in the exam. Then the third literary device used is enjambment. Enjambment, ENJAMBMENT, enjambment. What is enjambment? When the same sentence continues in the next line without any punctuation mark. When the same sentence continues in the next line without any punctuation mark, it is called enjambment. It can be seen throughout the poem also. Now see in this poem. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. See, each line is continued in the next line and there is no punctuation mark. After crow, me, snow, tree, heart, mood, part, there is no punctuation mark. The first line is continued in the second line, the second is continued in the third line, the third is continued in the fourth line, and so on. And there is no punctuation mark. So if one line is continued in the next line and there is no punctuation mark, it is called as enjambment. So the three literary devices used in this poem are alliteration, when the same letter is repeated. Second is assonance, when a particular vowel is dominantly used in the line. And enjambment, when one line is continued in the second line and there is no punctuation mark at the end of the line. So learn all this, learn the literary devices, learn in which line which literary device is used. Like I have told you just now, has given my heart, alliteration, and saved some part, alliteration, then shook down on me, assonance, and throughout the poem, enjambment. Remember all this, learn the rhyme scheme, read the poem once again, and very soon we will do another poem, Fire and Ice. Thank you, children.